Are you looking to grow your audience with video this year? Today we're talking about video cameras and which are best suited for musicians. I'll see you on the inside. What's going on, everybody? How's it going? This is Mike. You have reached the Songwriters Planner podcast for songwriters, musicians. If this is your first time visiting, thank you for swinging by. I really appreciate it. And I just wanted to take the time to say that my podcast is on Spotify. It is also on iTunes as well as my website. So you can go to any one of those places and listen to it. You can also go to my YouTube channel, which has all of my podcasts via video form like this, which I really love doing. It's taken me a little bit of time to get used to doing the video podcast, but I got to say, I have had fun with it, and it is a great way for me to visually connect with you guys so that I don't feel like I'm stuck in a room with the headphones on and just talking into a microphone. I actually get to show my face, to show my hand, waving around like a madman, and it's really, really cool. So if you check it out on YouTube, thank you. Please feel free to subscribe to that, or just check it out, like I said, on Spotify, iTunes, or my website. So thank you very much, guys, for swinging by. I also wanted to take a quick moment to also see if you are watching on video. I am sporting my Music Love hat and Music Love shirt, which I'm hoping to get rolling in 2019. You can get this hat right now on my website. I have a red one and a black one. And basically just represents the way I feel about music. And I hope that you feel the same way. You just kind of share the love with it. And I just wanted to point that out. So thanks for checking those things out if you get a chance. And also today, I wanted to say that I'm hitting episode number 33, I believe. We're in the low 30s, and it's been great getting to this point. It's been a little over half a year now, and I plan to keep going with these episodes. And I see those listens and those downloads, those numbers going up every month. So thank you guys. Really appreciate it. Okay. Today, we're talking about something that I really enjoy, something that I really cut my teeth on, and that is using video to promote you and your music. Specifically, we're going to talk about the video cameras that are probably best suited for you as a musician. Now, I always say we are always musicians first, and everything else kind of isn't really second nature to us, and that means like promoting yourself, websites, social media. And video is one of those things that I think musicians should embrace even more. Although I think there's an intimidation factor with creating videos or creating your own videos and making them so that you think people will want to watch them. Well, I'm here to tell you there are people that are willing to watch your videos more than you think there is, especially because video is the number one way to connect with people online. Whether you're trying to build a fan base, whether you're a business trying to gain new customers, whether you're just trying to create awareness for your nonprofit organization, whatever it is, you should be using video. And that is no different for musicians. And I really, really try to stress how important it is to create videos and to put them online, and just they don't have to be perfect, you know. I think it's easy for us to get caught up in the fact that, wow, if I'm going to put a video out, it's got to be perfect. We got to get it professionally done. No. I'm here to tell you that is not the case. So using video is something that I really personally have enjoyed over the past couple years that I started doing video. I started really creating videos back in 2013, and actually it was 2012. And I really enjoyed it because it was like a way to tell the story of my music, or the music I was doing at the time, to people where it was engaging, and they enjoyed watching these videos because you got to know me as a person, got to know the band I was in a little bit better, and it just rounds out your whole promotional vibe very nicely. So using video, super, super important. Connecting with your fans, telling your stories in ways that your music already does, but this gives them even more. So if you're considering using video, then I would really, really listen to this podcast. Especially if you're looking to invest in a camera, and we're going to talk about a few different cameras, including the obvious one, your phone, which we all use. But I'm just going to do a rundown and give you an idea of what each kind of camera does and what's best for you and what's your best investment, because cameras can get expensive depending on what you're going for. So before we jump into that, I just want to talk about what platforms are best suited for video when you make your videos, okay? Right off the bat, obviously YouTube is the granddaddy of all video content. Excuse me. And you want to be on YouTube, you want to have a YouTube channel, you want to post videos on a regular basis up there. That is a no doubt, no matter what you're doing. Please look into doing that if you aren't already. Aside from YouTube, we're going to look at, you have Facebook. Facebook now supports long form video, which is really cool. You can literally upload full episodes of whatever you want, full songs. It's just nice to have Facebook investing in long form video. I believe they're trying to compete with YouTube, which is probably a smart move because YouTube is always long form video. And when I say long form video, I mean videos that are probably longer than 10 minutes or so. Now, you may not be ever creating a movie for your music that's 10 minutes long, but it's nice to know you can at least get a full song in there. You can put all of this stuff up on your Facebook page, and it's always available for fans to check out, especially new fans that find you for the first time. And of course, there's Instagram. Now we get into the sites that support less and less time of video. Like Instagram only does a minute, which is great for promos and things like that, or snippets of songs. Always good like that. You have Twitter, obviously supports video, but these are kind of the lower echelon as far as how long your videos can be. So no matter what platform you're on, consider what kind of videos you want to create, what kind you want to put out. Do you want to put out quick 1-minute videos? Do you want to put out full songs, which I really highly recommend? And or do you want to do like vlogging and start doing, weekly vlogs, which is kind of like your own YouTube station, your own YouTube channel, kind of like Casey Neistat or something like that. Really, really cool opportunities, and choosing the platforms that work best for you. I would suggest try to do a little bit on all of them if you can, once you get into using video. But you got to choose what's going to work for you and what's best for you and what you're most comfortable with. So, okay, so this year, if you are seriously considering investing in a little bit of hardware to start your YouTube channel, to start more videos, to start doing performances and things like that, we're going to take a look at a couple today, okay? And if you're watching my YouTube channel, I actually have examples of each camera we're talking about today. But if you're not watching, no problem. I will go through it and talk you through it really quickly. So let's jump right into it. Okay, here I'm going to grab my first camera. Okay, what we have here is a Canon DSLR. And this is basically, DSLR stands for digital single lens reflex. Now these types of cameras, if you can't see, it's basically your typical point and shoot type of camera. They're usually black. Canon makes them, Nikon makes them, and these are the higher range of cameras that professional photographers will use. You can control the lenses, you can switch out lenses. You have settings galore depending on what kind of a camera you have. And they give you real high control over the final image. Now, these cameras are awesome. They are amazing. However, they can be expensive. And that is going to determine whether you want to use a DSLR camera. Now, if you can afford to get one of these, I would highly recommend it and take a little bit of time learning how to use them. Like I said, the pros of these types of cameras, the image quality is amazing. Most cameras like this, you can get amazing image quality. You can get depth of field, which basically just means when you look at an image, and it looks like the person in the foreground that you're looking at is in focus, and in the background it's blurry, kind of like how you normally see objects. Depth, you can get great depth of field with DSLR cameras, and usually the audio on these are pretty decent. No matter what camera you use, I will talk about the audio. However, because we're doing music and we're musicians and you want to record your music, it's always ideal to record your audio separately if you can. If you're doing music, if you're just doing talking in front of the camera, usually the microphone on these cameras work just fine. And that's pretty much true with all of these cameras. So the DSLR, top of the line style, they come in a lot of range prices. You can start anywhere from, say, $500, and you can go sky high from there. We can talk in thousands of dollars. So, don't invest in something like that if you can't afford it. But if you can, definitely look into the DSLR. Check out Canons, check out Nikons, and there's a bunch more out there. And they're all really, really great, really easy to use once you learn a little bit about how to use them, and they will make your images pop, okay? So that's the first kind of camera I'm talking about here. The second camera, I pulled off camera there real quick, is probably the most common out of most musicians and that we're aware of because they're all over the place. They sell them in Guitar Center, and that is the GoPro camera, okay? I have in my hand here a GoPro camera. It's a Hero 3. It's a little bit on the older side, but no matter what, GoPro, I use GoPros so much when I film my music and when I film our stuff live and when I do vlogs like this. This podcast is filmed on a GoPro camera right there. That's a GoPro. And I just love them. I love them. You get great image quality. Sometimes they can be a little bit confusing when you're trying to set them up. But once you get them set up and you understand how to navigate through the user interface that it has, they are just so easy to use. They have mounts galore. You can mount them on anything. And I think that GoPros are really obviously action-based cameras. And I think that concept fits really well with musicians and artists because we kind of inherit these same problems that action, sports and stuff have where do you put the camera, right? And what's great about GoPros is you can mount them on a guitar, you can mount them on drums, you can put them in the corner of a room, you can mount them in the ceiling. It doesn't really matter. They're just really great cameras. The downside of the GoPro is the image quality is not going to be as good as a DSLR, put it that way. They are just not that kind of a camera. It's really two different apples and oranges situations. And with GoPro cameras, you're going to get a certain image quality, and there's really not a whole lot you can do about it unless you get a more expensive GoPro camera. And price range, GoPros come in all shapes and sizes. You can spend upwards of $140 up to $500. And those are the more expensive line GoPro cameras. They have more features, shooting in 4K, things like that. And I don't know. I really like GoPros. I've used them for many years now. They're trusty. They're pretty durable. You know, if you're riding, obviously if you're sitting up on stage or if you're using them at band rehearsal, GoPros can fall over, they can get knocked down, and they're pretty stable with their casing and everything. So love GoPros. And yeah, we're going to finish up and I'll talk a little bit more about these at the end when I give you my recommendations. Okay, next camera. Here we have the typical point and shoot handheld HD camera. Now this is a pretty typical, this is a Sony. In my hand I have a Sony HD camera. This is the kind of camera where you flip open the screen and it's basically a point and shoot handheld type camera. These cameras are also really good. The good thing about these are usually pretty affordable for the most part. You can do $100 up to $150. You can go up to about $200. But these cameras are great because they are affordable and they are pretty rugged. The downside of these is that you don't always get the great image quality of, say, a GoPro or, of course, a DSLR. Now, these fall on the lower line of price, but you are sacrificing image quality a little bit. However, I will say with image quality, I don't want you to trip up on that because really, when it comes down to it, 95%, okay, maybe we'll say 90% of the people who will see your videos that you make, that you put online, are going to watch them on their phone. And that's just the lay of the land. You know, everybody who makes video and creates content would love to have their videos watched on 4K televisions so everybody gets the best quality, but that is not the world we live in right now. Most likely people are going to watch your videos on their little phones. So video quality, yes, it is important, but I don't want you to get hung up on it because at some point there is a common ground, and that common ground is people watching videos on their phone. And you're going to get a certain quality no matter what you do. Okay, if you were shooting a full feature-length film and you were going to have it put in movie theaters, then yes, get the best camera you can. But for musicians, for our purpose, for artists, don't get hung up on the quality as much as using what you have, okay? So the HD camera, great camera. I use these as well. They have usually have pretty easy zoom-in lenses that you can do. Just really easy to use. That's another benefit of the HD camera. You really don't have a lot to figure out. And yeah, so do that. I would take the HD cameras and take a good look at them. They fall fall within the mid to low range price range. Okay. And last but not least, I don't have mine right here, your phone. Okay. I know you spend a lot of money on your phone and it can do many, many things, and video is definitely one of those things. I shoot video on my phone. It's great for doing things like Instagram videos. Doing Facebook live videos, obviously, are great. The phones nowadays are so advanced, and it really looks professionally done. A lot of these companies, iPhones, Samsungs, they're really putting a lot of features into the phone for video as selling points. The Google Pixel, man, I mean, that stuff is just crazy. So your phone, obviously, the benefits of that is that you already have one, and you don't need to go buy an external camera. So that is really great. And there's also mounts and stuff you can buy. The downside of using your phone is that it is also your phone, and you can really lose space on your phone, especially if you're doing a lot of videos and you're not cleaning out the phone on a regular basis. You can really just pack up a lot of space, and next thing you know, your phone has tons of video. So that would be a downside of it, something to consider. I would say if you are really serious about doing video this year and coming up, that's one of your goals, I would really consider investing in a separate camera, one that you can use specifically for your music. It just makes it easier when it comes time to shoot and to film. You can be a little more organized with your filming. You don't have to worry about your phone being filled up with take after take after take because you messed up and you want to do another one. Having that separate camera will really, really help and kind of ease your mind about, well, I'm filling up my phone. I'm getting a phone call while I'm shooting the video. That happens, so just some things to consider, but don't count out the phone. Like I said, I use it as well. I use it all the time, and obviously you do too. You have one in your pocket, I'm guessing. So if you're looking to jump into video, I would say start off with using your phone. Start off and start creating a couple videos for Instagram or short form videos. Use your phone and you can learn how you look in front of the camera. Learn how to edit these little videos with these little apps on your phone. It's really, really cool. A really good idea to do. Obviously, the audio on the GoPro is not too bad unless you have it in its hard case. Sometimes the microphone can be blocked for underwater stuff, so you make sure you can take that out. You can switch out the back so that the microphone is open. The HD cameras also have pretty decent microphones. Cross the line, unless you're using external audio or an external microphone, you're going to kind of get the same sound quality, throughout these cameras, unless you take necessary steps to improve it externally. And if you can do that, great. And if not, don't worry about it. You're doing video. So how great is that, right? Okay. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is talk about what's probably the best camera for you as a musician. If you are just starting out or if you're looking to get into video, and what's the best fit. Okay. Like I said, I've been doing video now for about 5 years. 5 or 6 years, and I'd say hands down for me, the most reliable type of camera for the activity that a musician does with the traveling, the rehearsing, the playing, the practicing, the all those things that go into being a musician. I'd say the best choice for musicians is to go with a GoPro camera. And the reason why is because they are small, they are light, they are very flexible. They can be mounted anywhere, and they're great for vlogging. They are great for musical performances. They have wide angle settings where you can catch a lot of your screen size. You can catch a lot coming into the lens. And sometimes, when you're pointing and shooting, you don't know if you're getting everything. Well, these wide angle lenses are really great for that because you're going to get a lot of action. It just looks really cool. And of course, another reason why is because there's many to choose from. There are so many action type cameras to choose from. GoPros, obviously, the number one choice for me, but GoPros are not the only one in the game out there. You have Sony's, there's a bunch of other companies that make them. But I would say when I get asked about what camera should I get for video, GoPros is always what I recommend. Start with that. And then if you get comfortable doing that, then maybe graduate to saving up and getting a DSLR and then start working with those, because those are really, really great. But like I said, don't get caught up on the quality so much as the using what you have, because like I said, a lot of people are just going to watch your videos on their phone anyway. And if you spend all this money on a fancy camera and you shoot these videos, which is great, you're still getting the same kind of viewing as someone who were to shoot it on a GoPro camera or even an HD camera. And that's kind of my recommendation. Again, it really comes down to your budget. What can you afford? If you want to just use your phone, then use your phone. If you have an HD camera, then use your HD camera. And if you are fortunate enough to have a DSLR camera, use that thing, man. It really just comes down to what you can afford and what you're going to use. When you buy it, what are you going to feel most comfortable using? For me, it is the GoPro, hands down. Multifaceted, very functional in many situations. But you use what you think you can afford and what you're going to be using more often. So that is what I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully you are thinking about using video and incorporating it into your music. Like I said, it's a game changer. It's the best way for you to stay on the top of mind of the people that you're trying to reach or your current fans now. And it just makes things a lot better when you incorporate a video workflow into your music. And that's the way the world is going. For musicians, for artists, I really truly believe that is the way the world is going. So hopefully you feel the same way and you can jump on that wagon and start doing your own video. You can do it. I know you can. All right, people. Hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I hope I provided some value to you and answered some of your questions. If not, feel free to hit me up always, Mike at songwritersplanner.com. Visit me on my website, my Facebook page, my Instagram page, wherever you can find me. Reach out. I will be there, and I will get back to you. Okay, guys? Thanks again. Peace and love, and we'll see you on the next podcast. I'm out.